That's where my text and phone game came from. My text game came from just basically being in airports, being traveling a lot where it's inappropriate for me to call. We'll talk about the differences between texting and phone and how it is very, very difficult to sometimes speak on the phone with a girl, but it's extremely easy to text. The concept of texting is a very interesting thing in the pickup community. There's a lot of information out there, and I've read some of it, not all of it, of course, so I won't say it's all shit, but 99% of the stuff that I have read is absolute junk. It's people saying, I am going to make more money. Texting is a new thing. We're going to put it together. We're going to make a book or an ebook or a series of videos or whatever, and we're going to just sell it. And it's a lot of junk that works for one person or get semi-results. And if you can get semi-results, people are like interested in having that kind of stuff. So they spend lots of money, and it's really irritating because then it's not genuine. You're not creating that kind of, real interaction. You're just getting kind of people to text you back. And a lot of times it isn't in your favor. So what I did was I put together this system that worked for me, and then I kind of refined it and created this, this series of steps and put it into our ABCs of Attraction structure, and then gave it to a whole bunch of people. I basically said, okay, Sunday morning of every one of our boot camps, anybody can come, and I'll give them as much information as possible. It's 4 hours of just fucking mind-blowing shit. And now go out into the world and try it and see if it works. And tons of guys have texted me back. We actually, one of the guys that did our internet marketing for us on this program is doing it because he took our seminar in Chicago, and then like he had sex with the first girl he's ever had sex with like a week later after Facebook messaging her. So what I want to do is I want to talk about a couple of the things that happen in text that isn't necessarily true. It isn't necessarily good advice. And I also want to talk about just some good guidelines of phone and text interactions, rather. And then I want to talk about the actual seduction that can happen over phone and text. So number one, the first thing to understand is that in any kind of phone or text interaction, there are three purposes. The first purpose is making plans, right? If you want to see a girl, you got to make plans. Boom. Pretty fucking straightforward. This is going to take dominance and forethought. Whenever you want to see a girl, whenever you want to take a girl on a date, you got to have the date in mind. You got to know what you're going to do. It's our job as men to be dominant, to lead, to create that leader-follower frame, because it makes the interaction that much more fun, that much more sexual, and male-female interactions are just wonderful things. How awesome would it be if you met a girl and she's super hot, and then she was like, listen, give me your number. I want to see you again. Oh, okay, cool. I'll give you my number, right? And none of the PUA stuff where we go, oh, I don't give my number out to girls. You give her a number, right? And she's like, listen, she calls you that night. She's like, listen, I know we talked about you like Westerns, and you like pizza, right? All right, well, check it out. I'm baking a pizza right now, and I've just gone and picked up a couple Clint Eastwood movies. Are you free tonight? Yeah, I'm free. Or well, check it out. I'll come pick you up at like 8:30 and bring you back over here. We'll watch the movies. How awesome would that be, right? It'd be seriously awesome. Yeah? Dead? Okay, got a couple. Okay, all the guys in the front that are like, he's going to call me out if I don't nod. That's what we can do for them. Like literally, we can create this situation. And back in the day when I was like taking girls on dinner dates, I was like, I take girls on dates. Dinner is good. I'll take them on dinner. We have this thing called the Zagat Guide. I don't know if you guys have it here, but it's like a list of like every restaurant in the world. And you can get one for your particular city. So I would sit there on the couch like with my 10 numbers from the weekend, and I'd be like, open up to one that looked good. That was like down the street from me or something else, some Indian restaurant. And they'd have like, a picture of the place and the rating and then the information and then like a description of it, which is usually like from the restaurant itself. So I'd always call these girls and I'd be like, hey, listen, I know this Indian restaurant. It's really great. Yeah, okay, yeah, totally. It's a blend of the finest Indian herbs and spices in a completely zesty package in one of the most awesome. Oh, you've heard of that? Oh, cool. There's this other place too. It's Italian. It's called Mario's. It is the site of probably the best piece of pizza you can find in Los Angeles, and it's located in the heart of Santa Monica, and it's like flipping through this book, right? But the point is that I had this idea, I had this dominance, and I had this forethought put together, and I wanted to use that, and that's the most important thing when making plans with just anybody. You know, if you ever had that friend, even just like a guy that calls you up and he's like, hey man, what are you doing? You want to do something? Yeah, well, what should we do? It's like the worst thing ever. It's fucking annoying as shit, right? The second purpose of any phone and text interaction is maintaining a regular presence. And I think I was talking to you about it. This is the idea that you have to keep a girl's buying temperature up. You have to keep her general attraction. You've got to keep the momentum of the relationship going. You meet a girl on Friday night, you get her number, you're like, oh my God, this is the best girl ever. Like I have this very kind of Casanova mindset. When I meet a girl, I'm like, I'm in love with this girl. She's the best girl ever. I'm gonna get married to her. It's gonna be amazing. And then you go out Saturday, you go out Sunday. You can't call her till Monday, so you call her on Monday. But you can't call her on Monday because you're on a business trip to Sydney and you gotta talk to a bunch of dudes in a room about hanging out with girls for some reason, which is really weird. And then you finally get back and you call her up, and scientifically it's proven that unless you're extremely attractive or extremely unattractive, she's going to forget your face within 3 days. This happens with people in general. So then you call her up a week and a half later, and you're like, hey, it's Gareth. And she's like, who? Like Gareth from the club. What club? She's completely forgotten about you. So you have to keep that, that momentum up. And even sometimes it's just about popping up in her brain. Just about sending out little what we call pings. Sometimes people call them pings. Just popping up in your brain. The best way to do this is over the phone or over text. Probably the best way to do it because, hey, it's me. Who? We met 2 days ago. That's terrible.